If I'm being completely honest, I'm not fully sure how to start this. Volume 1 of the 501 Sessions was the one that just made the most natural sense to me to start with. 501 Sessions are all about the songs that I made while living in that apartment. Lived there for a little over 2 years, made 19 different songs. And I think the biggest reason I wanted to do this project was that moving out of my hometown was the first time that I think I even remotely started taking myself seriously. And so I think it's very fitting to have started with the I Miss My Hometown songs. 501 Sessions Volume 1 is comprised of Tell the Dogs.
Every time before I go, you say the dogs will miss me and my heart breaks slow.
And 630.
The place I call home, the place I call home.
630 was the first song that I made while living there. Even though I wrote it while I was still living at home, I wrote it on the baby grand that I grew up playing, which feels just very fitting overall. There was something really special about that song to me because it was the first one that I wrote that ever had like a big chorus moment, if you will. I never really wrote a song, but always wanted to write a song where the chorus was just one key line that really kind of drove home the whole message of the song. And I think that's what I did with this one. I have a love-hate relationship with it as well because it sits somewhat lower in my range. And I always feel like when I sing lower, it doesn't sound as good. So I've had to wrestle with the fact that, it's a song that means a lot to me and I wrote it in a very big life change time. I gave it a place in my catalog and it deserves the place in my catalog. And fast forward about almost 2 full years later, I wrote Tell the Dogs. Tell the Dogs was different because it was very much like my attempt at trying to say something without directly saying it. Big songwriting tactic or style that I've really tried to make work for myself, and I feel like I finally did with this one. Kind of dancing around the idea and the overall message instead of just straight up articulating it, which I feel like a lot of my other songs tend to be somewhat more blunt. I also feel like this one was very different from the other songs on my album and as well as the rest of my catalog. I'm a big Judah and the Lion fan, and I feel like there are hints of some of their simpler songs in Tell the Dogs. Tell the Dogs feels very like I want you to understand the feeling of what I'm trying to say, but I'm having a really hard time trying to just straight up say it, which I feel like is something that I think a lot of us experience, especially in a family environment. I always have had a hard time being more vulnerable with my family. And so this song was kind of like a way of being like, I will never probably tell you this, but I do miss you when I'm not here. And I know that you probably won't tell me that you miss me, but I want you to know that you do. And with this project, I didn't just want to chronologically reminisce on each of the songs. I wanted the themes that I found myself writing about over the last 2 years to really show through in the songs and in the project itself. It also just kind of goes to show that themes that show up in our lives are often repeated and often experienced again and again. Like, you never stop missing home. You never stop experiencing these different feelings and these different experiences. Those things may look different from one era to the next, but ultimately life is still cyclical. Like I said, those two songs were almost on opposite ends of my time in that apartment, 630 being the first and Tell the Dogs being one of the last ones to make it on the album. I just wanted it to make sense when I put it all together. And if there's one thing I want the 501 Sessions to do, it's to extend the life of these songs that I haven't yet put enough life into. So if you haven't already, make sure to go check out 630 and Tell the Dogs from 501 Sessions Volume 1.